Yo, what's up, guys? Good evening. Yo, my bad. I'm realizing I just signaled this in Alex's Discord. I forgot to forward this to the free Discord. Sorry, guys. How you guys doing today? What a dump. Yeah, I mean, async, this looks good, bro. It's like, we'll talk about it. But, especially, I mean, we already had the break of structure retested demands. If we're gonna reject, we're gonna reject from here. So pay yourself. Thanks for being here, guys. What's up, Andre? What's up, Curtis Hill? What's up, Bearded? Bull Runner, what's going on? Async, my brother, how you doing? What's up, Barb? How's it going, man? What's up, Kevin? Offshore Miner. Spike. Colin Crypto, what's up? What's up, Mark? Mikey? All right, there's so much to talk about today. What's up, Sean? Timer window, look at that. I remember it on my own. There we go. All right. So this trade here, yeah, so I signaled this in Alex's Discord, but my apologies, I forgot to. Oh wait. Oh, you can fix that. What am I doing? Forgot to signal this in the other Discord, but basically what we were looking for was after the bullish break of structure here, we're looking for it to come back to this demand level and get low time frame structure breaks. So where's the entry? So we had the break of structure here. Get it on the break of structure, up we go. Looks good right now. If we can break this high, it starts to look even better. But let's start at the beginning here. So this morning, what were we looking at this morning? We were looking at, so Bitcoin sweeps this low, which was the previous low here. But this is a pretty bearish pattern. Like you'll see this a lot. It looks like a bird, right? It's like you have like, hold on, it was on like the 5 minute. Yeah, you have like a wing and then like a head and a wing. It goes down. But it also, the price just wasn't going anywhere, right? So we get this sweep and I put out in Discord, I was like, hey guys, we have to close above this for us to be bullish. Otherwise, this is just going to be more guilty until proven innocent stuff here. So what happens? We come up, we sweep this high, we SFP it. and then we fall off a cliff, right? And we got quite a big dump out of this. So what have we done now? So we've done a couple things. So we've taken this low from the Bybit low on the Bybit exchange. So that brings the 4-hour strong low back down to here, or sorry, strong high down to here on Bybit, which is nice because now kind of all the charts are synced up, which is good. Because before we would have like the Coinbase low was, or high was here, and the Bybit high was way up here, and it just looked like a big mess. But really, what have we been saying since this drop, right? Or since this break of structure? We've been talking about how this is a weak low, right? This has been a 4-hour weak low the whole time, and we were bound to come target it. It would be awesome if this candle can close green in a couple hours, because that would give us a new low high on the 4-hour to set up for a sweep into 98 to break. Oh, that would be so beautiful. That would be like a long the farm. Of course, like we would still expect until we break daily structure, we'd still expect it to get rejected. But just like having a 4-hour structure trade again would be amazing, because we haven't had one. I mean, we've had the short, right? We had the short trade here, but we haven't had a clean 4-hour structure like all of these bottoms over here in quite some time. So it would be really nice to get that. Will we get that? I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. But we at least have structure on the chart. Really, the active structure time frame right now is like the 15-minute and the 30-minute, because the hour high is still... Did we set an hourly high here? I don't think... Yeah, the hourly high is still way up here until we take the low. If we take the low, then the hourly high is here. So honestly, in a perfect world, I would like to push up to this supply block here, about 102,500. That's kind of my area where we're looking for shorts. What's up, JB? Good to see you, brother. What's up, Cameron? Yeah, I'd like to continue pushing here up to this supply level at like 102.5. At 102.5, we can get like a bearish break. That would give us a 4-hour high, which would be amazing. And then we come down and we sweep into 98. And then we come back up and break that 4-hour high, get 4-hour structure, mitigate, and continue. If we're going to go up. If we're still just going to go down, we're going to get a capitulation width to like 98. Then we'll trade that as it is. But I just want to kind of put that on your radar, because that's kind of what I'm looking at. Of course, we trade what we see. We saw the long here. And we'll, if we get a short up here, 102.5, we can take that as well. But this is really nice bottoming structure. This is kind of what we talked about the other day. Like when you start to get exhaustion at the lows and then you break structure, get a higher low and go. Yeah, the 3 minutes been like the time frame to short on this dump. If you're using like the EMA strategy, come above the 200, come above the 200, you're rejecting. We're trying to flip that now. We've got it curving up on the 50. If the 50 crosses the 200, it starts to look a little bit better. I need to slow down because I'm talking really fast, because I'm just excited that we finally took that week low. Put a 1 in the chat if you're glad that we took that we fixed the charts. We took that week low. I know I am. Yeah, so we were kind of talking about if there's somewhere that we're going to reject from, it's going to be this supply. So we came into this supply now. And we're kind of rejecting a little bit here, so we'll see. So if you took the long down here, if 1 minute structure breaks, if we lose, since we entered this trade on the 1 minute, if we lose like 100,600, you might want to take some profits on that. Yeah, this is the order block retest right now. All right, let's zoom out. So we kind of talked about this yesterday, but what are the levels that we're looking at? So the first kind of level down here that we'd like to see, kind of the macro level that's untested, would be right here. Now, why is this level great? We still have our alerts down here as well. This level's great because it sweeps this liquidity as well. So we have liquidity left in this low here, like 98,000, and then we also have this untested block of demand, which we've come close to but haven't broken. That's also where like a lot of people will get bearish because they read structure differently and they think this is the weekly low. And yeah, it's just a nice little SFP area into this demand to bounce from. Would be pretty nice. We have like an incoming death cross on the daily, so that's something to be aware of. Really looking at the macro here, I mean, we were always coming here, right? We're always coming here. So you break structure on total, you retest golden pocket, and you come down and you sweep the week low. Right? That's another reason that we're probably bouncing right now, is because on total we just took the low. Let's zoom in, see if we got any structure down here on total. So total hasn't broken any structure yet. Let's see, how did it react to structure here? Yeah, SFP'd. So total SFP'd the 15-minute high, so we're still in a downtrend on total. I would like to come a little bit lower on Bitcoin, just because that 98K level is so juicy. But like I said, I don't care if it takes all night, because I want to set a 4-hour high first. That would be absolutely phenomenal. But we'll have to wait and see what happens. Yeah, so that's kind of the confluence that we have down here, like 98K. If we don't get a bounce from there, really like the big level is going to be 88K. And this is if we have like an extended downtrend, right? Because this is major untested demand. Why is this demand so important? Because while yes, out of this demand we did a big run up and it ended up going to like all-time highs, right? But like this is the demand that led to this entire like extremely bullish move here, right? Like if this is the demand zone that created this imbalance, right? So if we come back to this demand zone, we would expect to create a similar imbalance. So that would be awesome, but don't get it twisted. 98K is huge. 98K is huge. This whole area from like 94, 93 to 98 is huge. Also, what do we have down here? We also have our 2-day 200 EMA. And this is something that I have showed a lot on the channel, right? So if we're back testing this cycle, right? Ever since the 50 crossed the 200, if you are buying underneath the 2-day 200 EMA, you have got the best longs of the cycle. Right? Just something to think about when we come down there, right? Now, past performance doesn't indicate future results, right? I mean, if we're going to end up coming down, we'll probably come down. But what do we know about the EMA strat, right? That generally, if we come underneath the 200, we should at least retest the 50. Right? What happened when we went underneath the 200 on the daily? We retested the 50 almost immediately, right? I just want you guys to understand how, like, that's kind of why I think that we'll end up coming down here. There's just so much confluence down here. Now, you guys see it, right? Like, we have liquidity, we have the 2-day 200 EMA, we have untested demand, which created this huge imbalance. This level is insane. And the fact that we didn't come down yet, I really want to see us come down there. That would be fantastic. Now, it's probably going to happen when we're asleep at 3 a.m., right? Most likely. It's probably going to happen then. But, yeah, 98K is huge. It's huge. And I do expect price to bounce there. And what do you want to see down there? You just want to see some structure, right? It would be awesome if we could get like 1 hour down there, but do we? Oh, we would have 1 hour. Yeah, so if this breaks the low and comes up and breaks this 1 hour high, that would be stop loss here, enter here. Where's the 2-day 50 EMA? Way up here at 111. Probably comes down a little bit. Try this supply here. So you're targeting like 109. So you're entering at like 101, targeting 109. man, it might be worth just setting a limit there, but I don't know. It might be worth using like 15-minute structure to get in down there. Because these tests of it have been pretty shallow. Pretty shallow in the past. But yeah, guys. This level's huge. As I repeat it for the 4th time. Oh, Alex is live? Oh, hell yeah. All right, hopefully I've done a good job of explaining this. Hopefully you guys understand how important 97,800 is if we come down there. There's so much confluence. We'll throw an AlexO box down here. There is so much confluence here. So much confluence. But yeah, we're dumping. Guys, so I'm going to repeat myself again. This is why it's so important to have a bias. This is why it's so important to have a bias. Right? I mean, to put it in context here. And this is something that takes a while to get into your head, but it's so important. Like, where does the 4-hour flip bearish? Like in the past, where's the 4-hour flip bearish? Here. What has happened since the 4-hour flip bearish? We have dumped. We have came down 20%. Right? On this channel, we flipped guilty until proven innocent here. Right? Same way we flip bullish here. So, like I always say, if there's one thing that you take away from this channel, it would be just please learn how to read 4-hour structure, right? My biggest like regret kind of in the past like we've been nailing it for the past like few months, but in the past month is like I had the setup here and I didn't take this short. And yeah, I wish I'd done that. But we nailed all the other ones, and we still kept our bias on the way down. And we had the plan here, so it's okay. It's fine. But yeah, EMA strat's been killing it. Structure's been killing it. Down. Come on, 4-hour candle. You can do it. Just close green. You're on your way. Please close green. Give me like this. Cool. You've been seeing the same thing on your chart with 50 and 200 EMA crossings. Yeah, I mean, it's like the 3-minute, right? Like once you see it, it's one of those things where like once you see it, you can't really unsee it, right? Like it's like one of the easiest things to jump on trend. It's one of the easiest ways to jump on trend, right? Like 1 hour, 50 crosses 200, sell above the 200, you catch the next leg, target previous lows. And if you guys haven't watched the video on that strategy yet, definitely just watch it. It's called Trading Doesn't Have to Be Hard. The CMA trick proves it. And yeah. And like you'll notice even when like the trade fails, right? Like we get our EMA cross here. You technically retested it right after, which would have been an amazing entry, right? But even when it fails, you generally retest to 50. So you generally are able to take profit here. And, you know, we use structural context. Like, we know there's a 1 hour break of structure here. So we're likely only getting a retracement. But, yeah, like, it's nice. And again, right, 50 is above the 200. 98K is retesting underneath the 200 on the 2-day. Really cool. Okay. 3-day. Yeah, we haven't even tested the 3-day, and you can't make this up, guys. Like, look at where the 3-day is. All right. So in the Discord, I've been telling people since we were like up here, the levels to watch 98K and 88K. And this is why. Because we have untested demand. That's so crazy. The 3-day 200 is at 88K. Because of course it is. But yeah, so hopefully you guys are prepared. Got any tips for spot DCA in this situation? Not financial advice, but hypothetically, if someone and I have a price of 99K, what might be a good thing to do? It depends on your time horizon, and this is of course not financial advice. I need to add a disclaimer to the description. Nothing I say is financial advice, right? But yeah, if you're buying Bitcoin, like you can average in like in percentages, right? Like maybe you want to throw in 20% here at like 98K, or like 30%, right? And then you want to throw in like, is this your DCA for the bear market or just locally? If it's just locally, like, yeah, I mean, you can always DCA Bitcoin. But one way that you can be safe about it is like, if we do set a 4-hour high here and then we sweep it and break the 4-hour high, that's a great time to DCA for short-term trades. If this is like long-term, like 5 years, then just do your weekly DCA. Just do your weekly DCA. But yeah, DCAing on dips for sure. I like 98K a lot. Oh, you said not financial advice in your question. Perfect. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. If it's a long-term time horizon, then this, I mean, you're buying Bitcoin at a 20% discount from where it was 3 weeks ago. So, yeah, makes sense. But if this is the bear market, just understand that Bitcoin's likely coming down to like probably like 40K. It might be a little different this time because of ETFs, but every time we say that, it's not. I mean, where's the golden pocket at? Yeah, I mean, if you buy Bitcoin here, do you have enough funds to buy all the way down to 60K, 50K? If yes, then yeah, you're fine. Just make sure you just don't fully top blast it here. Like, buy some here, plan to buy some here, and then if we get a break and you want to throw some in short term, and take profits. Yeah. Because we are now breaking structure on the weekly. It's also November of the post-halving year. And, yeah, like this does not look good. Like, even if we pull, like, a range deviation here, like, this doesn't look good. You know what I'm saying? So, obviously, there's still some time in the week. But generally, if we close down here on the weekly, if we do get a pullback, I'll be expecting, like, a golden pocket retracement and a mega short down. That would be my base case. But I mean, the weekly 50 EMA has been a great spot to buy, right? And that's where we're at. We're at the weekly 50 EMA. So yeah, the price will eventually come higher. So makes sense. It's hard to give advice on spot bags because so much goes into that. Like, how much capital are you allocating? What's your time horizon? Is this like hold for 5 years? Is this accumulation for next cycle? Or is this a short-term bounce play? But hopefully I was able to answer your question a little bit. Do you think the top is in for the cycle, or we have a chance for one more push? I will tell you that I think it's more likely than not that the top is in, but I will be able to tell you, like, if I'm like 60% sure right now that the top is in, when the week's over, I'll probably be able to tell you with like 75% chance that the top's in. So we'll see what happens this week. If we get some sort of mega pushback this week, then, you know, maybe that could change. But of course, like it's not ever finite, right? Because I mean, if we come back up and break 116, then you're back under daily structure, and yeah, game on. But for right now, it doesn't look good, brother. Like total looks bearish. Like what would need to happen to save this cycle, I think, is that total would need to come up and break these highs, which would be the equivalent of like Bitcoin breaking 116. Like total needs to do this. If total can do this, then that's the first step to reclaiming weekly structure. But weekly structure is bearish. It's bearish. We've also lost momentum. Also, RSIs lose the 80 line. Like, there's a reason that I talk about all of this stuff, right? I mean, what did we talk about 2 weeks ago, right? We talked about how on total, the RSIs lost the 80 line. And we did this example where we put a line on every time this has happened in the past, right? And what followed afterwards. Oh, this was breaking the 20 line, but losing the 80 line, losing the 80 line. And then what happens when it happens again? Down. I mean, nobody wants to hear bearish stuff when everyone's bullish. But hopefully you guys got some value out of all of the top down that I was doing, because I was trying to let you guys know that this shit looks guilty. Awesome, JB. I'm glad. Glad it helps you. Well, Bearded, you know I will always do that, because what do we do on this channel, guys? What do? We trade what we see. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. And in terms of like macro bias, I'm very proud of how we've done with this project, with this channel. We've been pretty spot on with macro direction. Of course, Colin, anytime, bro. That's why I'm here. Hold on. All right, what other questions do you guys have about Bitcoin or this dump or anything? Anything you guys are struggling with you want to work on? We can talk about it. Anything that I've talked about that you guys need clarification on? Yeah, async, well, you don't have to sell the whole thing, right? Like, I mean, to be honest with you, like, it's hard because... All right, I think it'd be helpful if I just run through this with you guys. So, what starts the bull run? Right? What starts the bull run? A weekly break of structure to the upside. Right? Massive move up. The whole bull run, what do we never see? We never see a weekly bearish break, right? Like there's no bear break in here. This high never gets taken. There's no bear break in this move down, right? It just is just a dump to demand. We pump back up, right? We come to this high over here. This high is never taken. There's no bear break in this entire move down. So then, you know, what ends the bull market, we get a bearish break on the weekly and we dump down. So I don't like to speak in finality, but there's a reason we showed this chart so many times. Like if we look at the previous bull market here, right? Like I guess you could say a lot of people like considered the top to be that top in April, right? And like what we got a bearish break there, but then we did pump up to a new high, right? It's a little difficult when you look at it that way because then like your bear break is here and you get like a few lows and then down you go. This cycle was confusing with like if we let's see like yeah, I mean the daily break definitely called it too, but yeah, generally when you get a weekly break of structure, it's not good. But yeah, we'll see. I mean, structure could re-break bullish, and then this could all just be one big fake out, one big Binance liquidity issue. But what was it? It was the 5-day, right? Like this 5-day was just ugly, just really ugly, right? You get a clear break of structure, you set a high. So yeah, I mean, 116 is still kind of the line in the sand because that would be a 5-day bullish break on total. Like if you want us to go back up, then we need to come up and break this. But yeah, losing the 80 line on the RSIs is not good. Pretty damn good hit rate if you ask me for corrections. And it works again. So definitely add this to your toolbox, right? I mean, you see the RSIs was the 80 line, down you go. It's also just the end of the 4-year cycle as well. Not to sound too bearish, let's get back on track. We have local levels. We have 98K. We have 88K. We have new 4-hour structure to trade. And no matter what happens, whether this ends up going down or going up, we'll make money. So that's fine. Let's hear your take on the TA. If you want to hear about fundamentals, I'm not your guy. I don't trade fundamentals. Can't believe you missed selling your alt bags in September. Yeah, well, I mean, generally Bitcoin tops, at least what we've seen in the past cycles is that Bitcoin will top and then ETH will top and then altcoins will top. So like it is still possible that like we've seen it already, some alts running, right? But like ETH to Bitcoin on the weekly, it still has bullish weekly structure, right? On the daily, it does not. SFP though on the ooh, this jeez, this yeah, that might have been an exit signal. This, I mean, it's really oversold. It's really oversold. The weekly structure is still bullish on ETH to Bitcoin. So we'll see. See what happens. It's hitting demand right now. Man, ETH got smacked today or yesterday. Oh, yeah, this, I mean, it makes sense for ETH to come to 2850. We'll see. Oh, it hit a bit of demand here. There's a bit of demand here. Let's see. Let's look at ETH. It didn't even tap that yet. What if we put it on the 12 hour. Oh, okay. What if we do it like this? I kind of like one more sweep on ETH, which makes sense. That would be like ETH going to 30, 20, ETH sweeping the low one more time. But to be honest with you, I like 28.77 on ETH way better. But we'll see. We hit this demand here. Did we get some structure? Yeah, so kind of the same thing goes for ETH. If this 4-hour candle can close positively, that would be fantastic, because then we have some 4-hour structure to sweep and get back bullish. If you're bullish on the cycle and you want to see new all-time highs, this is, I think, the best setup that gets you here the fastest. This is the best setup. You set a 4-hour high, you sweep the low, you break that 4-hour high, you get long, and you pray. And yeah. But I mean, it can take a little bit longer, right? Like maybe this candle closes red and then we come down and then we set a high and then we sweep and then we go. Like however it develops. Hey, look at that. However it develops, you want to see a 4-hour high get set. That's what you really want to see. How cool would it be if it just, oh, voice crack. How cool would it be if it just plays out like that? Like green candle, sweeps the low, sets the high, sweeps the low, takes out the high, and that's the low, and then we go up. That would be so awesome. And you guys are prepared for that now, so definitely be watching for that. That would be fantastic. But yeah, guys, so 98K. 98K, 98K. Say it 1,000 times, 98K. Okay. All-time high will happen in Q4. I mean, that's what's always happened, is that Bitcoin has topped and then ETH will top later. So that, I mean, it's got a lot of work to do. Yeah, retest supply and then down. Yeah, one of the things that like had me convinced that we were going to come down and take out these weak lows is that all altcoins looked the same. Like everything had nothing but internal structure. Like you can't really build a good foundation for a bounce off of like internal structure. It's not very enticing to traders. But we're back into better days, much better days in terms of trading and structure. How did Sol hold up? So Sol still has some more down to go. It's got to take out this wick. 141. Man, that top on Sol was so clean. Such a clean top. But yeah, like you guys see, like when you get below the 200, you generally retest the 50 at least, right? So I say that because, like, you know, like even this one, like you went below the 200 on the 3-day and you retested the 50. But on the spot charts, I think you're, yeah, it's the first time you're below it. So we'll see what kind of bounce we can get here. Let's look at the weekly on Sol. So you're kind of retesting like this. Ooh, 147, like that level. Head, shoulders. Just be careful, guys, because if we are going into the bear market, like altcoins generally drop 90%. So just something to be aware of. Like, it's better to just wait for structure to be bullish and maybe like trade the Bitcoin pairs at this point. But all right, so Bitcoin's getting a bit of a bounce here. Nice, good first step here, flipping that 4-hour green. Cool. Not a bad trade. Not a bad trade. Using stops so you could go to bed. I mean, where are you in from, bro? What's your entry? What's up, Julia? Like, if you took the trade here on the break structure, I mean, their stop loss was here. I was telling you could move it here. Yeah, we got that order block retest here, and then we've been going up, which is good. We want this 4 hour to close green. That would be fantastic. Would be absolutely fantastic. 99,000. Oh yeah. Hey, perfect entry, bro. Yeah. I mean, have you pay yourself with this high, and then just put your stop loss at entry, if you're wanting to catch like the swing. Just understand that it's possible that overnight they do this, but you know, you can't win every trade. But if you want to keep that entry in case we go higher, take some profit at this high, and then move your stop to entry, and then you get paid. And hey, if you get stopped out, you already got paid. If not, if it goes to Valhalla, you got to trade at 99,000. That's what I would do. You're basically at these highs. Well, you know, you're at these highs now. So pay yourself a little bit. Set another take profit at 102.5. Put your stop loss to entry. This hits overnight, then you get swept. Whatever. Right. All right, so we're gonna kind of end the video on kind of like a mic drop for structure, because this is really important, guys. So you break your 15-minute structure bearish. Where is it? Here. Or we can do 30-minute. Let's do 30-minute, bigger time frame. So you break your 30-minute structure bearish like here. I think we have to do 15. We have to do 15, yeah. Basically what I'm trying to say is this whole dump here, if you're wondering where to get, when you can start longing, you shouldn't be longing anywhere in here. Where do you long? After you break structure on the 15-minute. Why is this in the wrong spot? You break structure on the 15-minute here. You come back to demand. Then you get long, right? You shouldn't be longing until you have structure breaks, right? And I mean, if you're talking about trading on the way down and like you're trying to jump on trend, just wait until you create a high. Like when we're aggressively dumping, just wait until you create a high with 2 green candles. You break that low, throw your stop loss above the structural high, and you literally don't break 1-minute structure until here. So you close your short here. You break 1-minute structure back bullish here. What does that do? It creates an opportunity for when you break the structure back bearish here, you get short here, stop loss above here, and you write it down. So like you could have gotten short. Our example was getting short here, getting out of that short here, and then getting re-short here. And you're catching the moves. Whenever we're in a trending market, structure is so much better. Like, where do you break your, like, let's say you did that and you got short here. Where do you break your 1-minute structure? You break it here, you close the trade here. You set up. Where do you break back bearish again? You break back bearish here, you get short here. Stop here, down you go. Right. So it's just an easy way to trade like strong trends. Easy way to trade strong trends, right? What we were talking about with this trade here, 1-minute structure breaks here. Get long, stop loss under here. Trail it up when you make a new low. Trail it up when you make a new low. Trail it up when you make a new low. Stop loss is here now. Get stopped out here. Who cares? You got long here. yeah, spike, and then just be okay with losing the entry, right? Be like, hey, I have my stop at 99. If I get stopped out, fine. If it goes to Valhalla, I'm long from 99k, and you've already paid yourself, so you're not going to round trip. So there you go. All right, guys. Do you guys have any last minute questions here? SFP, be careful, guys. SFP. All right, y'all. Well, awesome. As always, I appreciate y'all being here. I know that there's a million things y'all can do with your time. I know there's a million people y'all can watch on YouTube, so I do appreciate you guys being here. As always, my name is Wave Cipher. Much love. Trade safe. Wave Cipher out. I will see you guys tomorrow.